95.5, that's Toby Keith, his latest, Some Beers Ago. I'm Rodeo Rick in studio with us this afternoon. My first time meeting this gentleman, Mr. David Ball. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Rick, thank you. Good to meet you. Good to be here.
Tell you what, I have been a big fan of yours for a long, long time, and I'm very excited about the show coming up tonight at the Beacon Club. Doors are going to open up at 6 o'clock tonight. Come on out. And I was told by the folks out at the Beacon, Laura and my friends out there, tonight's going to be a very special night, and I haven't seen it this way. We're going to leave the dance floor open so folks can come out and scoot their boots.
Oh, good.
This is going to be a lot of folks come out to these shows at the Beacon Club and they want to dance, and because we have folks in there sitting in the way, well, it's been kind of tough. So looking forward to that, so folks can come out and scoot their boots. But for those folks who may not know much about David Ball, Dave, why don't you tell folks where you're from and how you got your start in music?
Well, I was born in South Carolina, and then I moved to Texas when I was about 18, and I started playing music out there full time. So I grew up playing in dance halls and stuff like that down there. I love it when people come out and dance. But you know, that was way back in the kind of in the mid-'70s, and then I got a contract to come to Nashville to write songs, and I wrote I Got a Thinking Problem, and finally got a chance, you know, after I played that song for about 200 big-time radio executives, I finally got a chance to, I found one little guy that liked that song, and he let me record it, and that was my first single, and boom, what a great way to get things started with Thinking Problem, and I guess that was 1994. So
was it that long ago already?
Yeah, and but you know, that song was 5 years old before I cut it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I still love that song. One of my favorites all time.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, that kind of came out of those days in Texas.
Yeah, what a great tune. I just when I heard Thinking Problem, it definitely put you on the map. I think in '94, I'm trying to think where I was. I was working in Stockton, California. At the time when that song came out. And I remember when that song came out, because I remember going to my mom going, "Mom, you got to hear this new tune. And this new guy, David Ball, this is awesome. You're going to like this sound." She goes, "I don't know about that Thinking Problem. Yeah. That's too much like drinking."
Now, is she an executive in Nashville?
No, she's not.
That's exactly what I heard. What do you mean, really? Thinking Problem? What do you mean by that?
Well, it is definitely one of my favorite songs. For those folks who get a chance to meet artists, a lot of them want to know, which do you prefer more, writing or performing? Which is your favorite?
I like it all. One feeds the other. You know, that's kind of the way I do it. And I finally got it figured out a little bit. It took me about 20 years, but I've put together a great band, and you know, we don't get in there and play the big time game quite so much now. You know, I kind of do it at my own, so that I can play good music. And you know, you never know what we're going to do at every show. You know, we don't have anything that planned out. We do like to start them all at the same time in the same key, but it's not. We're not really that picky about it, and we do have a good time. And we like to get up this part of the world about once every 2 or 3 years. We try to make a trek up through here, and it's just beautiful. We've been having a great time. Bobby Chitwood is helping us out and lined up a bunch of great dates for us, and that means gigs, not girls.
Well, we asked the question on our Facebook page and out on Twitter earlier what everybody's favorite David Ball song was, and
"Peeping Through the Knothole in Grandma's Wooden Leg."
That wasn't it. But
well,
we'll have to hang on. We'll have to add that to the set list tonight. So.
Yeah.
You said something when you came in tonight that cracked me up. You don't call your music country music. What do you call it?
Well, it's cornbread jazz.
I think that's beautiful.
That means when we make mistakes, nobody knows the difference.
Absolutely. Well, if it's live music, you know, nobody should notice anyway. Yeah. So it's supposed to be all about having fun.
Well, we do have fun. Sometimes we've been accused of having a little too much fun, but
all our listeners, by far, I asked them online what they wanted to hear live in the studio, and by far it was Riding with Private Malone.
Oh, yeah, so, fantastic song. Well, this is one of our favorites, too, so we'll be sure and play that. You want to hear it?
I do, but first, how about tell me a little bit about the song and how it came about, how you got to
I was working with my good buddy Wood Newton, and he and I had been writing a few songs together, and he started telling me about this song that he was working on with a guy named Tom Shepard. And Wood Newton had a cousin that did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, and the day he got back from Vietnam, he was killed in a car wreck in Arkansas, just on a real straight stretch of highway. It was kind of unexplained, and I think that was kind of in Wood's mind and on his heart when they started this song. And it was just a great story. I thought everything about it was, you know, I was familiar with it, but I had never heard it all put together that way. And Wood Newton has written a lot of great songs, and some of his early stuff was, you know, Bobby Sue. I think he wrote that when he was like 18.
Another great tune.
Then he had some Kenny Rogers songs, and he's just fantastic. And he's produced a couple of my records, and he's got a studio in Nashville, Tennessee. And but you know, songs like this in Nashville, they come along about once every 10 years, I think. You know, it's a very unusual song, and we were very lucky to get this song played because we were just on a little homemade independent record label, and it was a little homemade record. We cut it in some guy's basement, and I think that his dog was down in there that had been missing for about 6 months, and we were moving some. There was some plywood stacked up leaning against the wall, you know, a bunch of plywood, and there was a very a bad smell coming from over there, but we got it done. We're professional musicians.
It's David Ball, ladies and gentlemen, and probably his signature song, Riding with Private Malone.